Hello everybody, Lucas here and welcome to week 7 of IHops. Leeds Lucarios guaranteed in playoffs now at 5-1, going up against Fancify, who once again has come in as a replacement coach to a league I'm in. No, the team is currently 3-1. Fancify himself is actually 2-0 since taking over the team though, so he's doing pretty well with it. And I'm playing Celestina again, as I did week 1, because obviously with all the changes going around, lots of people then obviously go and make changes to the team. So I had to play Mega Gallade for a second time last week, and now I'm playing Celestina again. So it is what it is. I've obviously played Fancify before. I lost to him in ADBL. When he was the West Virginia Wing Goals, he's changed team to the Michigan Miltanks here though. Yeah, and I really don't like this matchup, quite frankly. It's one of those where you're kind of flirting with, do I go all out on prep here, when it's fairly likely I may have to replay this team during playoffs, and I'm already guaranteed in playoffs. And as long as I win one of my last 2 games, I should be guaranteed a top half seed in playoffs as well. So that, in theory, I should be good. But actually, this matchup is just not good for me at all. I don't really have good responses to a lot of the stuff on this team, so I've had to take a weird approach to this matchup anyway. So hopefully it goes okay. So getting into his team and what I think he's going to bring, Celestina is just very good at being bulky. In this matchup, especially with how his team comp is, it gets forced to try and go, okay, how do I simultaneously check both Garchomp and Lele? Because it can't really do both. It either has to run physical and it gets 2-shot by Garchomp Firefang, or it has to run special and get almost 2-shot by Lele Thunderbolt. There is no in-between there, and he has to make that choice. Based on how my team's been going this season, he should probably run it more, especially defensive, to try and check the Lele, especially because Rotom can technically check Garchomp in a similar way. I say technically because not really, but it can technically do that, and yeah, so it's pretty much that. But it's obviously going to come. It's just a case of which one is it trying to check, and I anticipate it to be Lele, especially because he can one-shot Lele back, which is something to keep in mind. He can better check, whereas he only 3-shots Garchomp. So he may just try and go, okay, this is a guaranteed good Lele response. Let's do it that way. Latias is good. Base 110 speed, obviously. Hits pretty hard, got pretty good natural bulk. And its coverage makes it decent here. It can obviously Mystical Fire into Aggron and stuff like that. And it can Thunderbolt into Vaporeon, which I anticipate to come. He's also obviously faster than Garchomp and Revenge Kill Garchomp. He's faster than my 3 main offensive threats, and he can run Scarfed Lati potentially to continue to be faster than all of them, which I wouldn't be surprised to see in this one. I could also see some kind of bulky calm mindset coming as well. Although with the prevalence of like Lele and Garchomp that can hit it super effectively, that may be less likely, but I would never say never to that one, because obviously that's a big threat as a set, 100%. Greninja I've also had to prep for before. I don't remember which week it was. It might have been week 3, but Greninja is here now. It can't use Protein or Battle Bond. It's Torrent only. That's how it will always be in Draft League, probably. It's just fast. It hits pretty hard. I do have a couple of very decent responses to it, though. Vaporeon's a good one. AV Muck is also a good response to it as well. It's good for him, though, because obviously it's faster than my entire team. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that there. And the priority is nice for him as well, even though Lele's Psychic Terrain stops it. If it's not up, it's nice to get a lot of damage off against my team. Nidoqueen is very, very scary, just as this Breaker. Life Orb Sheer Force is a massive, massive threat. I have no switch-ins to it, basically. So that's that, basically. You'll obviously run Thunderbolt to catch Vaporeon and stuff like that. He was obviously going to have like Earth Power, and he'll probably run Sludge Wave, which is going to hit Weezing and stuff like that. And like, there is no one on my team that actually switches into this effectively, which is very, very sad, but it is what it is. And I've had to take a more offensive approach to this one. Arcanine can be pretty scary. If it's more offensive, Garchomp actually switches into it quite well. Even something like a Mega Aggron would do okay, and obviously Vaporeon would as well, though it can run Wild Charge. Wouldn't be surprised to see maybe even a Scarfed set more offensively with like Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, play rough because it gets that, and maybe even close combat as well. It gets good coverage in that sense. Could bring a bulkier set as well with like Intimidate, which maybe would be able to check Zapdos. I haven't really done the calcs on that properly. I probably should have done. But it can run like Morning Sun and stuff like that, and it's pretty fast base speed. It can speed tie Lele naturally, so that's something he may consider doing. It does obviously just get bought by Garchomp under most circumstances though, so it's like a 50-50 bring in my mind. I think there's better stuff he can bring, such as Heracross. Mega Heracross is an unbelievable threat against my team. It beats Aggron basically, and that's the main thing. And Skill Link is a great ability that allows it to hit stuff like Rotom Fan that resists its dual stab and just kill it with 5 hits of Rock Blast. You can also run Bullet Seed to hit into Vaporeon. It's a big threat for sure. Thankfully, I have 2 bulky poison types that can do okay against it, so that's maybe going to slightly deter him. I don't anticipate it to though. Mega Heracross is very scary, and I think he probably will bring it. Rotom I'm not too sure about. Once again, a more offensive set could actually be quite scary, but I do obviously have the poison types, which are going to take it on fairly well. Bulky set, as I said earlier, a bulky physically defensive one, even with like an Okaberry, and like Will-O-Wisp could actually end up checking Garchomp quite well. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. It's also okay against Zapdos. It will live one and like kill it back and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it, but it's a maybe. Staraptor is a massive threat because it can close combat into Mega Aggron, basically. It's like Flying Stab is really good in general, and then you just add the fighting on top of that, and it makes it very difficult for my team to deal with. Base 100 speed is also really annoying. I feel like Scarf is good here as well. It can also U-turn, do stuff like that. It's very scary. I feel like he is fairly likely to bring Boots to want to be able to switch up his move here, though. Is all I am thinking, because I feel like he'll want to be able to click Brave Bird and then close combat rather than having to play the prediction game. Because Staraptor can just win the game at the end, potentially, against my defense. If he does that, but a choice set would be very scary as well. Dancy is just there to be the fairy on the team. I'd imagine it doesn't do a ton other than checking a dragon, but my dragon destroys Dancy, so it's probably not going to come here. Alone on Sandslash is a hazard remover. Basically, he's got Latias to defog and then Rotom to defog otherwise, but it's just there as that. Alone Sandslash, if I don't have coverage on Lele, is actually a good response to it, ironically, so I could maybe see him bringing it thinking that's going to work out for him there. It does get absolutely bopped by Garchomp though, under most circumstances. It can obviously run Ice Shard, but he will assume Psychic Terrain will be up, stuff like that. It could be pretty annoying though. I wouldn't be that surprised to see it, but I think he has better brings to bring. And then Wartortle is another spinner at the bottom there. Can also do Shell Smash. Stuff can be pretty threatening there. With me having a Vaporeon though, I really don't anticipate that as something he's going to try and do. In this one, the six I think he brings is tough to call, because I think all of his high point mons there, the ones above 10, all of them are good, and all of them have good matchups here, and I could see them coming. But if I had to pick a 6, I think Celesteela, Latias, Greninja, Nidoqueen, Heracross, and Staraptor would be my 6. I think if he wants to go more offensive with it, I could see Arcanine and Rotom being mixed in. If he wants to go slightly more defensively, I could see either. That's where I'm at with that. I think any of those 8 are very good, though, which makes this matchup very tough for me, because there's a lot of offensive threats I just don't switch into, and then defensive things that I actually can struggle to break down. Starting off the team here, we've got Garchomp coming with the Habanberry, with a Sword Stance, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Fire Fang set. And this essentially came down to, I had the other 5 members of the team, and this came down to one of Garchomp and Lele coming to this match. And what I wanted this mon to do is to be able to chunk Celesteela, because unlike Corviknight, Celesteela doesn't have reliable recovery. It has Leech Seed, and that's it. So if you get a 50% off into Celesteela, it's taking 50%. There is a late game option here, which you may be able to work out what it is just from me saying that, but it requires Celesteela to be gone, basically. So if I can get rid of the Celesteela, that puts me in a great position. Essentially. Dancy, I didn't mention this, Dancy is also a fairly good response to Galarian Zapdos if he wants to try and bring it like that, but I'm not massively anticipating that. So yeah, there's that. But this Garchomp is essentially here to, Celesteela is going to be the switch in under most circumstances, unless he hard predicts an Earthquake and wants to go Heracross or something. But he'll know I have Fire Fang in this matchup, or a Fire move in general, or Mo's the response potentially. And essentially what I can do is I can click Swords Dance on that switch, and then Fire Fang into any of those responses that wants to come in, and then I either kill it or I chunk it for a lot of damage and stuff like that. And then I can do that. And in a situation where maybe Celesteela is slightly weakened or stuff like that, my Dragon Claw is pretty free because, as I said, I don't feel like Diancie comes to this. So my +2 Dragon Claw actually does a lot of work against the team. And then the Haban Berry is there because, say, I bring Garchomp in slightly later than I'm anticipating myself doing, and Celesteela is actually going to die to a +2 Fire Fang at that range. Say maybe he's led Celesteela and I've gotten my Z move off into it or something. Spoiler alert. And then happens, he then goes Lati to revenge kill, Draco's me, I live the Draco because of the Haban Berry and I kill it back with Dragon Claw, and that could actually be really, really useful. I really do think at least one Scarfer will come to this game, whether it's Nidoqueen or Arcanine or Rotom-Mow maybe, or Staraptor. I feel like one Scarfer is very, very good for him here, in addition to Greninja. Especially if he doesn't bring Greninja, he'll definitely bring a Scarfer, but I feel like Greninja is good for him here. You can obviously Ice Beam with Greninja into me and stuff, but if he's more likely to go Lati, then that's pretty good for me. Earthquake is obviously just good against stuff like Nidoqueen and Arcanine, and yeah, pretty much that that is it. But Dragon Claw's a really good click here for me, so hopefully that's going to pay off well. And Garchomp, stats-wise, has been worse than it's actually been. I've enjoyed Garchomp a lot. It somehow only has 3 kills in 6 games. I don't understand how that's happened because I feel like it's been really, really good for me. We've got Muck here coming back with the Assault Vest again. This is basically the same set that I used to check the Latios during week 3. With Pursuit, Knockoff, Fire Punch, and Poison Jab. It might literally be the exact same set, although I don't know if I had Fire Punch on that one. But we've got the Pursuit to try and trap the Lati, and Knockoff, if it's a setup set, is obviously going to do a bit more. Knockoff in general is a decent click, because unless he wants to go Heracross and risk taking like a Fire Punch, or just risk taking damage in general, because it's fairly bulky actually. Mega Heracross actually is a surprisingly good defense stat, but stuff doesn't appreciate taking knockoffs, so I can knock off the Scarf on whatever Scarf, that's really useful. Even if it goes Greninja, I knock off like a Life Orb or something, that's really, really good as well. I knock off Celesteela's Leftovers, that's really, really good. And then I can then Fire Punch that on the following turn. Then we've also then got Poison Jab, because it's just going to do a little bit more damage stab-wise to stuff like Greninja and Heracross as well. And Rotom-Mow, it will do a bit more too as well, because it's weak to it. Stuff like that. This is hopefully going to do a bit more than it did the last time I brought it. I shouldn't have stayed in with it when I did. Hopefully it's just going to be able to eliminate the Latias for me, basically, is what this set is here for. Galarian Weezing is also coming here, so the two poison types are coming together. We're actually running Neutralizing Gas this week, and this is my Mega Heracross response, because I get rid of its skill link, basically. So he then has to play the lottery on how many Rock Blasts he's hitting. So I think 3 hits does 25%. That's basically what we're looking at. The 5 hits would have done 40. So really nice to kind of reduce the chance of that. The Blood Sludge is there just for, residual recovery. Defogger for the team as well, though there's not a massive hazard presence of this team. If he brings Diancie, that's basically his only hazard setter, unless he wants to run rocks on Nidoqueen. Sandslash can also set rocks, but it doesn't. If it comes, it's probably not doing that. Defog's just nice to have on the team in general, because I have a couple of rocks. I do have a rocks weakness later on as well, so if rocks get set, it's very much worth my time to defog them away. Strange Team is a decent click against a lot of the team. It can catch Lati. It's good against Greninja. It obviously just hits Heracross hard. We've then got Flamethrower, which is also good against Heracross, which is basically the click, because it's good against Heracross, and then it also catches Celesteela trying to switch in, which is probably what he tries to do. And then Sludge Bomb is just a good move to hit against stuff like the Arcanine and the Rotom as well, which I kind of do okay against. And Staraptor it does a little bit more damage to as well, because this does take 2 from non-banded Staraptor if I need it to. It's not going to be the switch in though. Definitely not. I need it for Heracross 100%. If Heracross doesn't come for some reason, then obviously it can switch into Staraptor and do that. Obviously, if he works out what my set is and knows what he wants to do, he can go Nidoqueen on this and punish it. So yeah, there's that. Nidoqueen is very, very difficult for me to deal with. I'm not sure what I'm more scared of. I'm not sure whether I'm more scared of Scarf, which is then faster than my offense, like parts of my offense, or if I'm more scared of like Life Orb just because it hits hard. I haven't quite worked out what I'm more scared of yet. But hopefully this Weezing set's going to be able to hold up the defense nicely. We've then got Galarian Zapdos coming back again after sitting out last week. It's joint kill leader now with Lele, so it's hopefully going to retake that crown this week. This is the late game, essentially, in this matchup. Once Celesteela goes, as I said, Garchomp is there to try and eliminate Celesteela. This team is built around trying to eliminate Celesteela for Zapdos to then click Scarf Brave Bird and try and win the game towards the end. Obviously, if he has Scarf Latias, then that's another thing that stops that happening. But I've gone Max Speed Scarf, which allows me to Speed Tie Max Speed Scarf to Raptor, if that comes, which, if it comes, it probably does run Max Speed to, do the same thing with the Speed Tie. This thing can do really, really well. If like a fast Scarfer is eliminated and Celesteela is gone, then Scarf Brave Bird can kind of just win. Obviously, I have to be careful with Arcanine Recycling Intimidates, which is what maybe what he tries to do at that point, which is why U-Turn is there and why Drill Peck is there if I don't want to take Recoil, because there is a very high likability that stuff is low enough where Drill Peck will just actually pick up the kills for me. And then Close Combat is nice. It's not a two-shot on Celesteela. Even Banded wouldn't be able to two-shot Celesteela for it. No, it would be able to because it's less bulky than Skarmory. Skarmory is a 50% roll on two-shotting Banded Close Combat. That's with Adamant as well, so because I don't do that well against Celesteela with Close Combat, it can do a bit of damage though. Obviously Close Combat will 100% of the time one-shot Greninja. If Greninja's got a bit of bulk, I believe it can lift Brave Bird. So that's something to keep in mind there. Close Combat's also going to do a little bit more against something else, like Diancie and Sand Slash if he brings Lara with those. But as I said, Diancie is a fairly okay Zapdos response, but it kind of gets bobbed by the rest of my team, so not massive anticipating that. And then the two things at the bottom here, making their debuts, Rotom and Frogadier, which you might look at that and think, well, I'm not really taking it seriously, and I'm bringing the two mons I haven't used yet. It couldn't be further from the truth. Couldn't be further from the truth. These two mons are genuinely my best two picks here. Not just because Lele's a bit meh matchup-wise, because I either have to lock myself into a move and be scarfed and then I get walled by stuff, or I'm too slow, basically. Slazzle is good against Celesteela, but just gets blocked by an Earthquake. Rotom does this same thing, where it threatens Celesteela, only it's actually a switch into Celesteela, because it resists Heavy Slam, although it still does like 30%, because Celesteela is ridiculous. And then I threaten it with Thunderbolt or Volt Switch. Air Slash is a really good move against Heracross as well. I'm faster than that, which I would have been base anyway if I wasn't scarfed. I'm also faster than Straptor, unless that is scarfed, and faster than Greninja as well, and I one-shot that with Thunderbolt. So that's a really good spot for me. The one thing, once again, which is really annoying is the Nidoqueen, because Nidoqueen obviously stops my Volt Switch, which is very, very frustrating, so that is what it is. I also beat Rotom 1v1 because of Air Slash, which is really, really nice. Dark Pulse, I forget what it was there for. I think it's just to hit Lati a bit harder if I need to do that, because it's Scarf. You don't run like I don't need to just randomly tech defog on a Scarf set when I have Weezing with defog already. But this thing genuinely has a good matchup, and you can see it having a good matchup. This is also going to be my Straptor switch in. If that comes, it's either like Banded or something, and then I'm faster, or it's Scarf and it doesn't two-shot. But it still does quite a bit of damage, which is how good Straptor is. It's very, very scary. And obviously the situation I don't want to find myself in is a situation where he U-turns on Rotom, is able to go Nidoqueen fairly freely, and then has a very free Ice Beam into my team, because I do not have good switch-ins to an Ice Beam from the Nidoqueen at all. So that is what it is, but it's very, very scary, and I have to be careful with what I sack in this matchup. I've tried to take a more offensive strat to it, because I don't have good switch-ins to stuff like... I just don't have good switch-ins to like stuff like Staraptor and Heracross overall, so I've tried to take a more offensive approach to this one, which hopefully is going to pay off. Scarf just allows me to do that, and this can potentially win in the late game if the right things are dead, such as the Nidoqueen, obviously. I can kind of lock myself into Thunderbolt potentially and do it that way. This is here to pressure Celesteela essentially, and I think the way to play this is to try and make some good aggressive doubles on the Celesteela. So I come in on Celesteela, and then he goes, okay, let me go out into my Nidoqueen. Let's just go straight out into Garchomp here. And Garchomp isn't even bad to try and come in on Celesteela, maybe clicking Protect, Lynch Seed and stuff like that. So I can try and play the game that way and try and make some aggressive doubles to try and get my other stuff in with Rotom Fan, because if Nidoqueen comes, I obviously can't freely Volt Switch, and you probably will Nidoqueen most of the time, because Air Slash only does like 20% if I'm bulky, which is more what you would anticipate with me switching into Celesteela. And then Frogadier at the end there, which obviously I can use Protein, whereas regular Greninja can't. This thing's actually really solid here, not just because the water resists on this team are Latias and Greninja, and Rotom, but Rotom gets Ice Beamed. It's the fact that my U-turn actually does a lot of damage against the stuff that wants to come in on me. Like if he goes, okay, let's be careful with the water move, let's go out into Lati or Greninja if he wants to play more aggressively, or Rotom, I then U-turn and it's super effective against all three of those mons and actually does like 30-40% to all of them. That's really, really valuable. This is valuable. This is going to be my dedicated lead. If he leads Stellar Stealer, I probably don't Z move turn 1. I probably just lead with this, U-turn, try and catch one of those coming in, chunk it for like 30% immediately. U-turn plus Ice Beam I believe actually kills offensive Rotom. If it's more bulky then it won't, but that's neither here nor there. And same thing applies to Lati. Greninja actually dies to 2 U-turns, which is amazing, so if I can catch that coming in. Protein's such a good ability, that's why it's there. I've got Surf, which is the move I'm clicking, not the Z move, and then Hydro Pump is there as the Z move to just do a little bit more damage. And essentially this is another thing that can deal with Celesteela. Celesteela is the best switch into this overall. So between some combination of Garchomp and Frogadier, they're going to eliminate Celesteela. Or get it down at least, to then allow Zapdos to hopefully sweep with Brave Bird towards the end of the game. That's kind of the idea of this, and hopefully Frogadier and Fan can really put in some work here in this one and get me through to 6-1. As I said, I only need 1 win from these last 2 matches to get a top half seed, probably, so that's kind of what the aim is. This is a really tough matchup for me, though, just when I was looking at it, and I think this is the best way to approach it, to try and surprise him and bring something a bit less anticipated. So I'll see you guys in the battle. Okay, so here we are in the battle, and somehow no Heracross, which I do not believe. I just need to alter the layout because I just did not do it. No Greninja either. We see Rotom, Mo, and Arcanine, which are the ones I don't have on the dock. So what this is telling me immediately is there is definitely at least one Scarfer. In that, I need to do the link. Hold on. So there is at least one Scarfer in that 6. I'm feeling like it's likely the Staraptor. Could also be the Nidoqueen, could also be Rotom Mo. Lati's also a very good Scarfer here, as is Arcanine. So I reckon I wouldn't be surprised to see 2 Scarfers in that 5, but there's definitely at least one. So we see Steeler, we see Raptor, we see the Queen, we see Mo, we see the Lati, and we see Arcanine. So I think I'm going to stick with what my original plan was in this match, and that's to lead with Frogadier and click U-turn. Although if I think there's a good chance that most of this team is Scarfed, is that smart a lead? Because against any Scarf, I don't like being in against Lati anyway. And against any Scarfer, I die for like Staraptor anyway. I die to Rotom if it's Scarfed as well. And Nidoqueen, I think. So I'm doing calcs in doing this. I actually like how much damage my Air Slash from Rotom Fan is doing into Nidoqueen. It's doing more than I thought it would have done. So I actually like that a lot more now. I feel a lot better about my matchup against the Nidoqueen, specifically. I'm actually not against a Garchomp lead here. As weird as that sounds. No, but Garchomp will just kind of get bopped by... Oh, wait, I'm taking that out. The only thing is Garchomp's just kind of going to get bopped by a Staraptor Brave Bird. Most likely, so... I'm sure how much I like that. I'm going to stick with my original plan and lead Frogadier, you know. Lead Frogadier. We see Rotom Mo. Do I risk this being Scarfed? Turn 1. Do I risk this being Scarfed turn 1? Do I risk this being Scarfed turn 1? The thing is, he has to consider whether I might be Scarfed as well. That's something to keep in mind. And I feel like he wouldn't... maybe he would Volt Switch. I'm just going to U-turn. He is slower, so that's nice. My U-turn... Oh, it's physically defensive. Okay, good. No, it's not actually. It's somewhere... It's probably Spadef, I guess. Yeah, it's Spadef, it looks like. Or it's just max HP. How much HP does he need to have 35 on the roll? It's like 200 or so. Yeah, so it's either Spadef or it's max HP, just fast. It may be Scarfed. Why is this going so fast? I think my Muck play is good here. He's never going to do much damage to me, even if he like Will-O-Wisps. I don't really mind because me getting rid of items is still really valuable. Actually, me getting rid of items, me just clicking knock off and getting rid of items is really, really valuable here. I'm not going to go Garchomp in case he clicks Willow, so I'm just going to go Muck here because I don't mind getting Willowed on this. He will just show Volt Switch. So we see Volt, so he probably goes out into Nidoqueen here, which is very, very difficult for me to deal with. Straight up, very, very tough for me to deal with. Yeah, we do see Nidoqueen, so that's very scary. Just with that damage of Muck against... Okay, so I think it's max HP, max special attack, because he did 13. Yeah, so it's got special attack, so it's like a bulky offensive set. Maybe it's sub-nasty plot. I could see that being an idea. I died to this hit from Nidoqueen, right? I actually only take half from a modest Sheer Force Life Orb Earth Power. And my knockoff does a good chunk, and I could get rid of Life Orb. No, but that's not worth it because I hate how the only Latias set on here is the Calm Mind one. So I have to go and manually put Draco in every single time. So he's like Life Orb. I'd go down to... So... My play could actually be Garchomp here. I don't really want to risk him Ice Beaming though in this situation. Yeah. I don't want to risk an Ice Beam, and Earth Power does half as well, so I don't really want to mess with that. Especially because I have my Habanberry for a reason. I'm actually thinking Fan might be the play if I'm, you know, predicting an Earth Power in this situation. The only issue is I never do much back. I don't do enough back to really justify that. Frogadier might actually be the play. Although I died to Earth Power, never mind. It might actually just be to stay in then. Realistically. Nothing wants to come in here. Do I have enough for Lati? That is the question. As long as I keep Garchomp healthy, I have enough for Lati, basically. Because I always 1v1 it in that situation. Because I'm thinking in the situation where it's Scarfed. I mean, in the situation where it's Scarfed, I still live another hit from it after this. Because if we have Muck against Latias, like I knew the Nidoqueen was going to be a huge problem here. Just in matchup, it was so good against me. Draco, say it's Scarf, because Scarf. Because Scarf is the set right scary because it's then going to be faster than my Zapdos. Yeah, I take a Draco even after this, so I'm fine doing this. He does Earth Power. It's going to do about... Actually, it only does 35. It was Sugarberry. Interesting. Nice eat. That's really good for me, though, because he's now far less scary. He's now far less scary. He actually... Doesn't he need... Maybe I'm going insane, but doesn't he need Life Orb for Ice Beam to kill Garch? Oh, no, he doesn't. I don't think he does. I think he just gets away with it. Oh, no, it's still by a good 20%. I think that means my fan switching is actually decent now. Yeah. Allied Kill Whip to Air Slashes, but does that leave me short on Threatening Stealer? The play might actually be Frogadier, because I think Frogadier lives anything. No, I don't. I still die to Earth Power. When I saw that damage, I really thought it was going to be Scarfed, because I think Scarfed actually did make a lot of sense. I don't really want to risk the Garchomp. I don't want to take 50% on Garchomp for no reason. I think Fan is less useful. Oh, we see Sludge Wave, that's annoying. That's annoying. Oh, what did he try and predict? Oh, maybe... Oh, he doesn't know I'm neutralizing gas wheezing. Right. He does not know wheezing is neutralizing gas. I didn't think about that. Well, I've just taken a big hit there, which is unfortunate. I think I just air slash and let him take me down. This is fine. This is okay. Because this was good against Stealer, but it wasn't 100% necessary. Wasn't 100% necessary. I'm fine to just air slash here. And I could have got a flinch maybe, but then he'll take me down with Sludge Wave. Nidoqueen, obviously, just incredibly scary. Now the question is, do I go Garchomp and just go for my SD now? The thing is, if he stays in at Ice Beams, I die. Is the only issue there. I feel like... We know this is slower than Frogadier, right? Frogadier... Yeah, by miles. So I'm actually gonna go Frogadier. And I think I might click my Z move in this situation. I U-turned last time, so what would he go into? The Arcanine, maybe? No, he wouldn't go Arcanine. He'd maybe just go Mow again. But I'm in a situation where we know Mow isn't Scarf. Let me write that down. We know Mow isn't Scarf, so I feel like the Arcanine at this stage might be Scarfed. Or it's just the Staraptor, which I've just lost my best response to be fair, in Rotom Fan, which is annoying. Staraptor is very scary as well. How much does my Z move do to Mow? We know it's max HP. My Ice Beam kills regardless the turn after, is the thing. And if you go Celesteela here, I'm then going to get a big chunk into it. So I think this is as good a time as ever to click my Z move. He does go Latty here, which will take, I think, about 30% from this. Yeah, that's not too bad. I think that shows me bulky Latty as well. Latias. No, yeah, it's got a bit of bulk. This might be max HP as well. Oh, it might. It's. I think this is Scarf. I think this is Scarf, and then the extra speed has gone into HP, which is why he's taken that hit so well. So if he's Scarfed into Muck in this scenario, here's Draco Meteor, which is the worst thing he can hit with, is going to do up to 26, assuming he's timid, and if he's not timid, it's really silly on his behalf. And then I Pursuit Trap it, and it's dead, basically. So I think that's definitely my play. We see T-Bolt, which will do 16. No Para, please. Thank you. So yeah, he definitely, as I said in team build, he was likely to run Thunderbolt for Vaporeon in this one for sure. It has actually showed, like... We didn't see Orb there, did we? 15.7. Is it modest? Is it actually modest? No, even that doesn't hit that. Is this choice specs? This is specs. This is actually specs. I think this is actually specs. That's unbelievable. I think this is actually specs. Which this would have two-shot, which specs of Thunderbolt probably would have two-shot Vaporeon, so that makes sense. But it's timid specs. I think that's actually timid specs. Unless it's battery or something, but I just pursue her. It's dead. Oh, it lived on 7. That's so... Oh my god, why are we doing this again? We're doing this again. It's dead in one turn. It's now dead in one turn. It's now dead in one turn. So I don't need Muck anymore, basically. Is where we got him from that. How much did Nidoqueen's Earth Power do before? 34.8. It's not Life Orb, it was Sugar Berry. Oh, okay. It's a roll to kill for sure. It's for sure a roll to kill. I'm not in the greatest spot, but I'm also not in a terrible spot in a weird way. Yeah, I'll just knock. He actually sludge waves, so this should go. No, they will just live on 10. I don't mind just knock offing again here though. I'm okay with this going down because Latty dies to poison after 1 turn. This is going to be tough though. This is going to be very tough from here. He actually sludge waved again, so he just really didn't want to let something come in here. Unless he wants to try and set something up, maybe? He'll go Staraptor here, which I'm pretty sure this is going to be Scarfed. I'll just knock in case he goes for like Workup or something. I think it gets that. So we see Bird off of this. I don't think Calc's going to tell me anything here against Mark. Yeah, it does up like 80% with Scarf. So this is now really dodgy, basically. This thing is very, very scary against me. The nice thing is I get rid of Reckless, which takes 10% off his hits. So my Sludge Bomb is pretty decent here. And the thing is, if he's Scarf, he's max speed Scarf, and then he speed ties Staraptor, and that is not something I want to mess with. So I'm just going to go Wheezing here. This is very, very sketchy. Not a Sludge Bomb. I'm in a tough spot here for sure. Really tough spot. Like I was always going to have difficulty with this team offensively. He does make the swap into Celesteela here. That is fine. We're at the stage in the game where I have to try and make this aggressive play into Garchomp right now. He will Seed. That is fine. I'm now just going to SD in this thing's face. Pretty much. Latty dies after 1 turn to poison. He maybe Heavy Slams, he'll actually Earthquake, which will do less, which is nice. Let's go for Firefang. He doesn't look like he's got Protect. Or he's just not going for it. He does have Protect, okay. You see Protect. This is okay though, this is exactly what Garchomp was here to do. It's just tanked Celesteela for like a lot of damage. He doesn't have a switch into this really, unless Arcanine's Flash Fire, which would be weird. Oh, actually, what if he tries to make an Arcanine swap here? Or just sack Latty. He could also just sack Latty. You could also just sack Latty. How much does +2 Dragon Claw do to Steeler? He definitely showed physically defensive based on the Fire Fang damage. So you can get rid of that immediately. Which, you know, Lele would have been amazing here, but what can you do? Oh yeah, Dragon Claw is doing like nothing, so I do kind of have to Fire Fang here. He tried to go for double Protect, which thank God he didn't get that. You actually get the burn, which is interesting. So now we're there in this situation. And I just get to go into Frogadier here. And he doesn't want to take a surf with anything, really. Yeah, surf min rolls 27. Or I could Ice Beam. Would he try and go Staraptor? Probably not. It would be a funny play, though, because it would kill Steeler. Actually, no, hold on, we don't want to do that, because if I do that and I somehow don't kill... Because if I... Oh no, it's the same roll, it's the exact same roll, but I'm saying if I do that and I somehow don't kill, then if I go Ice type, he will then kill me with Heavy Slam. So my Surf is better. My Surf is better for sure. It will just let me get the kill on Steeler, so that's good. We're now in a position where Zapdos can win this game if it wins a speed tie, I think, with the Staraptor. This dies to Ice Beam. We know it's max HP, but then it's also offensive. Ice Beam min rolls 67, and it's on 65, so I just get to Ice Beam and it dies. Yeah. Mo goes down. Oh, he maybe did that so he could now go into Scarf Arcanine and click Flare Blitz. No, he just goes Lati. So this is the time where we sack the least useful member of the team. Frogadier kills Arcanine, right? Let's go assume I'm back to Water type. I do a lot to Arcanine. Way more than Zapdos does. Yeah, the sack is actually Zapdos, right? Because Weezing beats Staraptor. But I speed tie Staraptor. This is actually going to come down to the speed tie, I think. Zapdos against... That's yes, he just clicks Psychic here. He just clicks Psychic. He just clicks Psychic. I have a chance to live. No, but there's no point doing that because then I don't... There's no point me trying to then win the speed tie because he could have quick attack on Staraptor. And then I don't do enough to Arcanine. Because of the thing. I feel like I should keep Frogadier alive though. That's the problem. I wish I had Protect. Having Protect would actually be awesome right now. I mean, I assume Psychic kills Frogadier. I mean, I didn't actually check that, but I assume it will. And it's choice specs. Yeah, Psychic kills Frogadier. If I had Dark Pulse, ooh, blimey. It gets a kill and dies, so what don't I want alive is the question. I wish I had Pain Split. Actually, wait, because I take on hits from Arcanine quite well, don't I? I take 40%, it is quite a bit. Oh, blimey, it's really difficult. This is really difficult. All three of them are good. That's the thing. But what two beat Staraptor and Arcanine? I think I keep Weezing alive. Does Straptor's at full? Oh, it's at 93 actually. Does Zapdos kill Staraptor? It actually doesn't. So yeah, Zapdos is the sack because I don't kill it anyway. Yeah. Zapdos is the sack because I don't kill it anyway. Yeah. So Lati's now dead to poison. That's the second time a Lati has died to poison like that. Oh, blimey. Okay, so what's going to happen here is I go Wheezing, hoping he goes Staraptor. If he goes Arcanine, I have to go... If he goes Arcanine, I have to go Frogadier, because if I let Wheezing take damage, I lose. Because Staraptor would lose Reckless, which I don't know what that really means. It means it's an 81% chance to free shot, and my Sludge Bomb is a guaranteed free shot. So a Poison would win me the game as well. Oh, I wish this thing got Water Shuriken, because I would have put it on the set. I would have put Water Shuriken on the set. I would have put Water Shuriken on the set. I don't think I win this one. I think Staraptor's a bit too... Oh no, because it takes recoil. Oh, so I do two-shot then. Yeah, so we're going to do what I just said a minute ago. Okay, good, he did go Staraptor. He did go Staraptor, good. Okay. So my play is always to just Sludge Bomb here. And I will two-shot because of recoil from Brave Bird, and he can't two-shot me. He kind of has to go Arcanine here. Yeah, he'll U-turn into the Arcanine, which will take a good chunk here. It'll take 20? It will take 20? That's bulky, right? To take 20, that's very bulky. Oh, it's this Lele response. Right, okay. That actually changes quite a few things, because now Frogadier doesn't kill it. But we also know it doesn't have any of this. It doesn't have any of that attack. And we know it's probably even, like, careful and stuff. I have to go Frogadier here, though. That is a weird way for that to function. We see Sand. Oh my god. I for some reason forgot I wasn't a physical attacker for a minute there. That would have done a lot to Weezing. 57 to 68 on Hydro Pump. Surf is doing 47 to 56. I have to hit Hydro Pump. Come on, Frogadier. Come on, Frogadier. Come on, Frogadier. I have to hit Hydro Pump. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! Ho ho ho! Oh, let's go Frogadier. Let's go Frogadier. That should be enough. That should be enough. Whew. Oh my god. 55? Oh, it's banded. It's banded. It's banded. I lose. Holy moly. Well, if I'd known that, I wouldn't have sacked Zapdos. It's banned. It's banded, but it's lost Reckless. Yeah, he wins this one. It's going to be a double down at the end. So I'm going to win 0-0. I'm literally going to win 0-0 because he'll die to recoil. I literally win. He literally won that 0-0. Damn, that is it's literally the closest you can possibly get. Wow, that was an incredible game. Props to Fancify. We've played 2 really good games now. 2 1-0s. 2 1-0s in 2 games now. Frogadier putting in so much work there. Frogadier was incredible. I just really struggled against that Nidoqueen, and he did really well to get that Nidoqueen in. He did so well to get that Nidoqueen in when he did at the start. Wow. Yeah, like, the only thing I could think of potentially doing differently was trying to go... I mean, the only thing I maybe could have done differently is I could have maybe gone Zapdos on, like, that Earth Power, which then Rotom took, but I was going towards Zapdos endgame, so it was like, that wasn't really the right play in my mind. I think, like, Fan was always the better play in that scenario, even though, like, I lost the Straptor. I also, the entire time, thought Straptor was Scarf based on Team Comp. It made a lot of sense, but then, because with Lati Specs as well, there was no Scarfer there at all. Wow. I looked at that match. I looked at that 6, and I was like, "There's at least 1 Scarfer, potentially 2 Scarfers in there," and there were none, which is incredible. I really thought either Lati or Straptor would be Scarf there, 100%. So that I played with the idea of the Straptor being Scarfed and made my sack based on that. So it came down to a 50-50 in the end, in a sense where I really thought the Straptor was Scarfed, sacked the thing that would have allowed me to beat Scarfed Straptor at the end with Weezing there. Had I known it was banned, I would have then sacked Weezing in that scenario and kept Zapdos around because Zapdos killed Straptor at that range. So it's one of those where it's actually a 50-50 where I was just confident in it being Scarf and it actually wasn't, pretty much. So that's all it was there, and it's a really, really close game, and what is a very, very poor matchup for me in terms of half the offensive threats. I just don't take hits from at all in this one. That's an annoying loss to take, but I think the fact I haven't lost any differential is really nice there, so it should keep me near the top as well. And then we go into the last week of the season up against Crit, where hopefully I can pick up a win and guarantee myself a top half seed, which I'm in playoffs already anyway. So it was this was a nice opportunity. Frogadier is really good. This was a nice opportunity to use Frogadier. I think did it get, how many kills did Frogadier get? It was quite a few because it killed Rotom, killed Celesteela, and killed Arcanine. Did it even kill Nidoqueen? No, something else killed Nidoqueen, right? Yeah, Muck killed Nidoqueen. And killed Lati, so Muck gets another couple of kills. Really, really good game. I enjoyed that one a lot, even though I lost. Really, it's literally as close as you can be. It was a double down at the end. He died to recoil from that. Yeah, it is what it is. There's Mons at the end of the day, and I anticipated what set he would bring. He didn't bring that set, and I've lost because I've made my play based on what I thought the set was, and that's that at the end of the day. We're still in a really strong position in the lead, so hopefully I can bounce back next week and pick up a win. So I'll see you guys next week.